Good day to everyone on this Friday. Today we're going to look at Bitcoin, the CME futures chart, its BTC Dominance chart, as well as EOS. Okay, on the Bitcoin 3-day chart now, I just briefly want to look at two trend lines, one of horizontal support and resistance, the other diagonal, just a reference for later in the video. Okay, the first one being this, 9895 and 29 cents, and the second coming from the bear market here, running up through this current run that we had. Okay, so let's look at the daily. Okay, so we're on the Bitcoin daily chart now, and the reason why I wanted to take a look at that horizontal line of support and resistance is this reason. We could see when we did have our drop, that price action went down. When it did get to this level, we had a good bounce. Then we had the sellers take price action to the upside and tested this trend line many of times. And we could see even when we've gone down here, several days we had tests up and to the downside. And even back here, we were going up and down for around 10 days, testing that trend line, making a decision which way it wanted to go. So again, playing a very significant role whenever price action does get near to there. Again, we had a failure here, and I heard some and read some comments that they really weren't sure why price didn't capitulate and there was not much resistance there, support, excuse me, and why didn't it continue down. But in all honesty, to be truthful, I'd be really surprised if there wasn't a bounce there. Because again, we have this trend line, which we all saw how far that goes back to. And again, we're on the 100 MA, which on the daily is a very powerful moving average. So if we just go back even just a bit to view, we could see that during this whole run, we haven't even been near it. Going back to the bear market, underneath it, and going back even more, we could see it's always played a significant role. So going back to this moving average, we could see if we do fail, it's quite a drop down to this 200. Again, we have this volume profile here, around $7,888, that this could be moving up. But what I do see short term is us coming up and testing this bottom of this trend line. When we did have this failure, I was in the Discord, I posted a chart saying we did not break these levels, so there's a good chance that we're going to come up retest here, as we've done many times before. And so that's where I'm at now. I want to see if price action breaks up to the upside, if we have some continued pattern develop here for a bullish break, or if we do reject and come back down to this level, maybe then give another go at it or fail down to this level. Okay, now next, this level I wanted to speak about. Again, going back to over in this area, we can see many times price actions played a role and bounced, quite a bit from when it got to that level. When we did fail on the 100 MA, which we did take a look at and saw how significant it was going back historically, this 100 MA didn't hold price, but this trend line did hold price. So to me, as a trader, non-biased, I have to take a look at that, and it's something I will pay attention to. Okay, so we could very well, again, just have price action jump back up into this pennant, continue price action for a nice break, take us to the upside, or we could fail and continue just consolidating here until Bitcoin wants to make another move. But as of now, what I'm concerned about is seeing how price action handles this trend line. Do we reject? Do we continue to break up? Because my next move, I want to look at 11,708 and 28 cents here. If we do have a breakout, I want to see a flag pattern form to maybe jump in, see a breakout, come down, retest, develop a nice bullish continuation pattern, jump in at that point. But now it seems to be, no trade zone here, right in the middle of some areas that I want to see how price action handles around. But again, to get a better idea of things, I like to zoom into the 1 hour. Okay, here's our trend line. break right there on it, break right there on it, again break right there on it. So showing to be significant the whole way through. Okay, and I just wanted to take a look at my trade. Get into the reason, where my mindset was at the time. I believe, yeah, actually it was right around here. Right around the 10,700. And 10.8, yep, 10.48 in there. Roughly, that's good enough. That's about where I jumped up when we got a little bounce off these moving averages. So again, my risk at the time, we jumped back into this pennant. We had some bullish momentum. I wanted to see if we could get going to the top of this triangle and ride it to the top again. Let's figure 9.5%. Throw 3x leverage on there and you could have a really nice trade. So to me, the 2% for the 9%, I'll take that all day. And I was fine by that. Again, I don't really like to trade in the middle of these zones, but we were showing some bullish signs in that pennant again. But ultimately, we did fail. Again, we caught this major trend line. And now I want to see how price action handles. You can see we have low volume profile. We could easily pop up, test the bottom of this trend line here, and then continue back down and maybe fall through this VP and then continue up afterwards. So again, it's just a lot of hurry up and wait for me right now. No need to jump into a position. We have price consolidating, and it's been around the same area for, roughly for a while. So now I just want to take a quick look at EOS. Okay. Then I do want to revisit Bitcoin and take a look at the CME chart as well as the BTC Dominance chart. Okay, but just taking a look at EOS again quick. This is the 4-hour. We had our breakdown. We had this pennant form, which we were looking at, I believe, in one of the last videos with EOS. We had not much volatility. Sellers or buyers didn't take price action anywhere until the buyers did step in and take price action up to the top here of this channel. What we rejected here and continued to head down, I did post in our Discord. We have a rising channel, and it looks like price will fail eventually. Again, when we didn't fail totally down, I said we're going to retest the bottom, which we did, and now we're back into this channel, and we're going to see what develops from there. Then again, we have seen a lot of the same similar price action, rising channels, and failures after that, rising channels and failures. So I'm still looking at my target of 29175. I believe that's going to get hit at some point. And then again, I'll make decisions whether to reaccumulate or to, take a sort of position at that point. But as of now, I might only be interested in looking at a short, maybe from around 3.9 to 3.93. Has some confluence here with volume profile, so maybe we get up to the top of this channel and continue down. So that's a trade to look at. I mean, this candle's looking good. Could very well take us to the top of that channel. Again, I'm going to be monitoring tonight. If you'd like to get some daily updates, again, join the Discord. Have a lot of good people in there, a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and we're always trying to post charts and make the best decisions. So that's something to think about, and I'll post the link in the description. But now again, I want to just take a look at the CME chart. Okay. Excuse me. Let's look at this one on the daily. Okay, so we have our CME chart. Okay, we could see we have our gap, gap filled, gap, gap filled, gap, gap not filled, and we had a gap here, which came down and eventually did fill. We had price action comes near the top of this gap. Okay, and then continue price action along, and we're going to see how it develops from here. But again, we did have the bearish cross, the 20 and the 50 MA crossing. They're moving sideways, so we could very well just continue up, or we could move up a little bit and reject. But for now, Bitcoin does have to show me something, okay? Because I jumped in a long position when we were in a bullish pennant. Now all I'm seeing are lower lows. So as of now, I'm just seeing lower lows. I'm not seeing any follow through with anything. So we broke under 10,000 a couple times now. So Bitcoin is definitely got to show me something as far as some sustained price action. But again, I looked at this in one of our last videos. Let's just take a quick look again. Go a fib extension here. And again, we could see confluence with our 0.5 fib. We could see this area for the gap. And we're basically a sneeze away. Again, we could very well have, my short-term bullish price action. I believe we're going to have some short-term bullish price action. That could take us up to the top of this fib. We could reject and come right back down. Again, we're just seeing lower lows, even if it does get to that level. Come down, maybe come up a little bit, have another low low, and then continue to the downside. Or we could just continue some tight patterning and take off. So either way, I'm keeping both things in mind. Being non-biased, I want to see how price action acts around these certain levels. Okay, and just lastly, our BTC Dominance chart. I believe this one on the weekly was better to view. Just bear with me. Okay, so the weekly dominance chart, I have my fib extension set up here. As we could see, we could also see that we're traveling within a rising channel, rising wedge roughly, however you do want to look at it. But again, we had our Fibonacci extension. Respect these levels as a lot of times they do. We got to the 618 up over here. We had some resistance, as that always is strong resistance. Sellers took price back down, but we kept the 9 exponential on this way, which is bullish for bullish momentum. We didn't fail and come down to this 20 moving average and then continue. We had to pop from the 9 exponential to continue us up to the top of this channel. Okay, we also had the 200 moving average, so that's where we are now. Could have maybe some short-term upside, and we're going to continue to see how price action wants to handle from here. But again, just lastly for me, I've seen a lot of lower lows, so I want Bitcoin to turn around and show us some sustained bullish momentum. Okay, with that, I'm going to leave the video there for today. I wish you all well. Have a great weekend, and thanks for tuning into the tavern.